I woke up strapped to a metallic table, the restraints humming with low-level energy pulses. Cold, efficient, alien. A curved ceiling overhead glowed a soft violet, casting everything in an eerie twilight. I tried to scream, but my throat felt like sandpaper, and only a croak escaped. Then she entered. Tall, elegant, with skin pale like lunar dust and eyes that shimmered like black opals. She wore a flowing cloak of obsidian scales, and her hair shimmered silver blue in the light. Her canines, not fangs exactly but close enough, peeked from her slightly parted lips. A pair of wings, leathery and folded, draped her back like a regal cape. She looked down at me with a mixture of hunger, affection, and something that looked unsettlingly like relief. "At last," she said in perfect English. "You're awake, husband." And blinked. "What did you just say?" "Husband," she repeated, smiling. "My bondmate. My beloved. Mine." It took several minutes of stammered denials before she stopped trying to kiss me and allowed me to sit up. The restraints hissed and retracted, and I nearly fell off the table. My legs were jelly. She caught me. The vampire, whatever she was, held me with unexpected gentleness, guiding me to a nearby reclining seat. She offered a goblet of crimson liquid. I recoiled. "It's not human," she assured. "Synthesized. Nutritionally ideal." "I remember you were squeamish." I stared at her. "Lady, I don't even know your name." She tilted her head in confusion. "It is me, Aravi. Wife. You swore blood bond with me under the twin moons of Corvaris Prime. You gave me your name, and I gave you immortality. Corvaris Prime. I've never left Earth." Protested. "This has to be a mistake. Some kind of weird alien soap opera plot or psychological prank." "You do not remember?" she asked, concern replacing her amusement. "They said your stasis memory could fracture, but this is worse than I feared." She stepped back and pressed a panel on the wall. A holographic image flickered into existence. It was me, standing beside her, smiling, wearing armor I'd never seen before, the flag of some unknown world draped over my shoulder. She leaned into me like a lover, a consort, wife, but I had no memory of it. She guided me through the vessel, a sleek and ominous starship named the Midnight Oath. It hummed with barely restrained energy, flying through a patch of space that made the stars look distant and unfamiliar. Aravi explained everything with careful precision. "I found you near death on a battlefield orbiting New Persea. Your injuries were beyond repair by human science, so I brought you to my people, the Verati. We gave you life, strength, and a choice. You chose me. I wouldn't forget marrying a space vampire," I said weakly. She flinched. "I'm not a vampire," she said carefully. "That is your people's term for us. We are symbiotes, bonded through a soul thread that links our life forces. We drink blood, yes, but it is ceremonial. Right. I've never taken from you unwillingly. And this bond, how does it work? It is eternal. But if the host suffers trauma or separation from their symbiote for too long, the memory may shatter. So, you think I lost my memory because we were separated?" She nodded solemnly. "I spent days aboard her ship. I couldn't deny the evidence. Photos, the logs, the way my biometrics unlocked her systems. Every corridor bore signs that I had lived here. My handwriting on maintenance logs, my custom cooking instructions in the mess, even a little scratch on the side of the control panel with initials. A+D. I was D. I couldn't deny it anymore. But the memories never came back. I didn't remember loving her. I didn't remember fighting on alien battlefields. And I didn't remember the moment I supposedly gave up my humanity. Aravi was patient. She didn't press me. She told stories of adventures, of how I'd stood by her during a civil war on her world, how we'd stared down a black hole together, and how I once built a homemade pizza oven on a jungle planet just to see her smile. But all I could do was listen, hollow inside, like someone watching someone else's life play out. Until the bounty hunters came. They ripped through space on jagged ships, scattering missiles like raindrops. Aravi launched evasive maneuvers, but it wasn't enough. A boarding pod slammed into the hull. We were thrown into chaos. I grabbed a weapon from the emergency rack, an unfamiliar energy blade, and joined her in the defense. The moment the first enemy charged, something snapped in my mind. I moved before I thought. My body remembered what my mind had forgotten. Parry, pivot, thrust. The energy blade sang through air and alien flesh. I moved with Aravi in perfect synchrony, like a dance we'd done 1,000 times. She smiled mid-combat, her fangs glinting, not with hunger but pride. "You remember," she whispered. "Not in my head," I grunted, slicing down another intruder. "But in my bones." "Yeah." We drove them back room by room. I took a plasma bolt to the ribs and collapsed. Aravi roared, a sound primal and ancient, and unleashed fury like a living storm. Wings flared, eyes burning, she tore through them like judgment incarnate. When the last enemy fell, she rushed to me. "Don't die," she whispered. "Not again." "I'm okay," I wheezed. "Maybe concussed. Ribs are very unhappy." She held my hand, and for a second I didn't want to let go. After the attack, I began to accept the impossible. Even if I didn't remember loving her, my body did. My instincts did. Somewhere deep inside I felt it. But I still wasn't ready. "You say we're bonded for life," I told her one night, staring at the stars from the observation deck. "But I'm not the man you remember." "Not really. I'm a ghost in his shell." "You are you," she said, sitting beside me. "Memory is only one part of love. The soul remembers even when the mind forgets." That's poetic. It's also how I've survived 9 centuries of war, betrayal, and death. I believed in love that transcends even time. I looked at her then, her expression so open, so vulnerably ancient. And I believed her. Weeks passed. We visited a Varati sanctuary, where elders confirmed the bond through ritual and neural scans. I watched my brain light up in patterns only possible through symbiote resonance. They gave me a choice. I could stay, remain bonded, and let my memories gradually return through guided immersion, or they could sever the soul thread, a process that would erase all trace of our connection. Asked for time. That night, I stood on the deck, staring into the void. She joined me quietly, saying nothing. "I don't want to hurt you," I said. "You won't. I don't want to make you wait forever. I already have." I looked into her eyes. Alien, yes, but more human than many I'd known. Kissed her. It wasn't magic. No memories rushed back in a flood. But I felt something click. I remembered the smell of her skin. The weight of her wings curled around us like a blanket. The warmth of a promise once made. We stayed. We trained, explored, and laughed. Sometimes I woke screaming from dreams I didn't understand. She held me every time. And then one morning I remembered. Planet on fire. A vow made under a blood moon. My blood on her lips, hers on mine. "I remember," I whispered. She cried. "It's been a year since I woke up on that table. The galaxy is still a mess. War brews on the edge of the Andari cluster, and a new alliance seeks to recruit us.